So thank yous. Well, SFC, who will hear from Ed shortly, have kindly, I'll choose my words carefully, pledged an investment of up to 150k for today's winner. So this is a competitive process. It's not guaranteed. There are still, hoops to go through in the due diligence process, and I'll ask Ed to talk a bit about that shortly. I also need to thank the British Business Bank, in particular Lewis Stringer, been phenomenal. The LEP and the LEP's Growth Hub, so Stuart and Stu and many others there. All three universities have been involved in this initiative at some point. Countless mentors in our help engine. We just want you to know that if you've helped us, or rather, if you've helped some of the startups, then we recognise that, and it really is making a difference. That is where the value of this community sits, frankly. Sponsors, we've had a few, most recently Sir Thomas White's, we're very grateful to them. And of course, today's judges. I'll introduce Ray and Hannah shortly, but if I could ask Ed to go first from SFC. Ed, would you mind introducing yourself and what your organisation does, and then maybe just a few words about this investment opportunity, the prize for today, please.
Sure. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, hi guys, I'm Ed from SFC Capital. So SFC Capital is an early stage fund investing into specifically into UK companies, specifically via SEIS and EIS. So we're an early stage investor. So what we like to do is we like to invest into companies relatively early on in their funding rounds, and typically one of the first investors into a company. And then we like to continue reinvesting in our portfolio companies for a follow-on fund that we have available to us. So I think the point to stress there is that we're not able to just invest once early. We are able to continue reinvesting throughout the lifetime of the company, which I think is a big sort of advantage that we can bring. We have a combination of funding sources available to us, including, as I said, our own SEIS and EIS funds, a large angel network of about over sort of 500 or so active angels, and actually also we have a partnership in place with the BBI, which is part of the British Business Bank, as part of their regional angels program, which is a sort of match funding arrangement that we have in place, provided by the British Business Bank, that we can utilize alongside our other sources should the conditions and criteria be met, and we can talk a bit more about that when we get to that point. Very active, so tend to do close to 100 investments, new investments a year, preferably as a lead investor, typically as a lead investor, not always, but we have a preference to lead, and then about 30 to 40 follow-on investments every year through the follow-on fund. So I would say on average, the amount of money we invest in around ranges, but really from anywhere from sort of 100, I would say up to sort of 300k once we've leveraged our various sources. It does vary somewhat, but I would say on average it's anywhere from 100 to 300. Yeah, we don't specialize in a sector or a stage, so we're a generalist fund, so we literally do everything and anything. So yeah, that's sort of us in a nutshell. In terms of this award, obviously like delighted to be able to allocate funding to a potential winner of the competition, up to 150k, which is at the moment the SEIS limit. So that's typically sort of the amount we've been sort of focusing on. As Sam alluded to, there obviously will be a process past this once the winner has been decided, that we have to go through, which would basically include doing the due diligence to make sure everything checks out, from sort of the business case, but also from all the bits and bobs that we need to go through just to make sure that you're eligible for investment first and foremost. And then if that all checks out, then we would then be able to go to the investment committee to get them to to sign off on it with a formal offer. But I think the point to stress is that we do have the funding available, so it's not an empty promise. It's just there will be obviously a process beyond today, but yeah, really looking forward to it, and best of luck, and yeah,
great.
Later.
Thanks, Ed. Hannah, I think you've joined us, haven't you, from Mercia?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Hannah, would you mind just intro into who you are and the role of Mercia, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Tapsell, and I'm an investment manager at Mercia, based out of our Nottingham office. Mercia is a dedicated debt and equity investor, and we focus on companies in the region. So we're headquartered in the Midlands, and specialise in investing companies across that patch, as well as other patches in the UK. Similarly, we are a generalist investor. We typically look for highly innovative products, but they can be in any space. And we have a number of different funds, so we can be with a company from early stages all the way through to kind of Series A, Series B.
Fantastic, thank you. And Ray, please.
Hello, afternoon all. Hi, so I'm Ray Harris. I'm a director in the private equity team at Foresight. My role specifically is looking after something called the Midlands Engine Investment Fund. And I know Hannah works for the Midlands Engine Investment Fund as well for Mercia, so we're co-funders. Midlands Engine Investment Fund is specifically targeted at regional businesses. This one, obviously, the East Midlands version, doing investments specifically for us between 250 and 2 million. Although, like Hannah, we have a range of funds that would have been able to take investment up to 10 million. So, our very simple marketing message is it's equity is what we do. We're an early stage investor. We're a generalist. We're out at a regional fund with a number of offices, but focusing on equity out in the regions, small startup growth, as well as buyout later on.
Great, thanks, Ray. So that's our 3 judges. This is the format for this afternoon's session. We're going to hear 6 pitches. So each of them will have 5 minutes to deliver the pitch, and then 5 minutes for follow-up questions from either Ray, Hannah, or Ed. So that's an hour. I will then join a breakout room with Hannah, Ray, and Ed to help them deliberate on the winner. And whilst that's going on, you will hear from another one of our members in the community, Payment Loyalty, Tom Holt. So he's going to talk about his journey. He's out raising at the moment. He's successfully raised previously. And there's also going to be a bit of fun. We've got a poll for the audience to vote on who they think their winner would be. And then we'll come back at about 10 to make the big announcement and end with any closing remarks. Right, that's that. So first up, we have Matt from Squad. So Matt, would you like to share your screen, please, and give me the nods when you're ready to go, and I'll start the timer.
Okay, great. So hello, I'm Matt Baird. I am the founder of Squad. I've played football for my entire life, from grassroots up to a semi-professional level, for a lot of different teams, and the way they've been organised for me hasn't changed. It's always been a WhatsApp group chat, and it's always been awful. So my breaking point was I quit my job to go travel the world, only to be repatriated back just 3 months later, to then join a pretty well-established club and be added to yet another WhatsApp group chat. So I thought there's got to be a better way of doing this. And whilst there are basic team applications out there, none of them work how they should or how I envisioned. So with the help of 2 of my teammates from managers across the UK and an incredible development team, I created my own application. So WhatsApp, it's always been the way the majority of teams are organising their training sessions, their matches, their social events. And to be honest, it's always been a nightmare. It's always been so chaotic, so hectic, not just for the managers, but for the players and parents involved as well. Constantly trying to work out who's available, having to scroll through reams and reams of WhatsApp group chat text, not being able to track statistics, who has or hasn't paid, and not being able to plan sessions because you have no idea who's actually turning up. And the tech available to do this is incredibly old and outdated, and we're having these problems multiple times a week. So I built the solution. So Squad, it's an all-in-one team organizer, whilst also being a social network for the players and the managers of these sports teams. The benefits of Squad is that it's saving users significant amounts of time, it's saving coaches, it's reducing their stress levels, and we're massively increasing the player and the parent response rates. We're also boosting the team morale, and we're also offering a platform for these amateur athletes to showcase their highlights and their statistics to like-minded individuals. So where are we now? So Squad is built and available, and I say available because we've not really launched. We invited a few teams in July in our direct network, as well as other teams via social media, and it all kind of started snowballing from there. We currently have over 4,200 users on the platform, and we achieved a global ranking on the Apple App Store as being one of the best free sports apps in the world. And we've done this with spending next to no money on marketing. The feedback we're getting is overwhelmingly positive, and what's more is we're getting users from our competitors like Spond, like Heya, compared to us, these tech giants, onto us, which is essentially something that's slightly furthering our MVP. So why is this? So Squad is, firstly, Squad's a tailored multi-sport platform. What a lot of people don't know about Spond and about Heya is that, similar to WhatsApp, it's a one-size-fits-all model. Their Alpine ski team has exactly the same functionality and design as a football team or a rugby team, when in reality they require a lot different. They need different events, different styles, and different statistics. And with Squad, we facilitate that in each of our squad types. As well as increased functionality, a lot of the value, not just for our users, but for us as a company, Squad has a network effect. And when I say this, I don't mean it has the potential to go viral, but the more users Squad has, the more value each gets. And with Squad, if you have a whole league, a whole city, a whole country on the same platform, the value grows exponentially. And it's about lasting retention and long-lasting value. And here you can see one of our player profiles sharing not only its media, but its statistics as well. So in terms of revenue, there's a list of ways free apps can make revenue, but for the time being, I want to focus on just two. The first being the payment system. That's just a simple way for players to be able to pay their match and their training fees directly through the app. The second being the Squad Store. I think the Squad Store it's a really slick way we've designed to incorporate private advertisements into our app without affecting the initial aesthetics of the app. So where are we going? Our conservative plans for year one is to have 20,000 users on the platform and have both our revenue generating features up and running. By the end of 2028 in year 5, we plan to have 1.5 million users on the platform. With a user base of this size, we can generate revenue of over £8 million per year. So in terms of user base, in the UK alone for the sports we currently support, they're just shy of 22 million potential users. We can increase this vastly just by adding any and every sport in the world, with plans to go global in between years 3 to 5. So our ask, so this is our first round of funding, and we're asking for £150,000 for a 10% stake in our company. With this, it will help hire a marketing team for our official launch ahead of the 23-24 season, as well as incorporate our new additional features. So here we've laid out our brief 5-year plan with some of our key moments. And as you can see, all our asks are being deployed in year 1. In years 2, 3, we'll be looking for additional funding to help bring our development team in-house, to develop further unique and exciting features, as well as help with our international marketing campaign. I genuinely believe that Squad has the potential to change how the world organises teams and offers a new platform for these amateur athletes to connect. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, well done, Matt. I'm relaxed. And that was bang on 5 minutes to the second, so double well done. Right, so yeah, we've got 5 minutes for the judges to ask any follow-up questions. Hannah, do you have anything you would like to sort of clarify with Matt, please?
Well, first of all, thank you, Matt, for the presentation. Really good presentation. I've used Heya myself, and it's awful, I think, personally. And as someone who plays sport every week, I do recognise this is actually a significant problem. I'm quite curious about the business model and how you guys are going to generate revenues. Can you talk me through why you chose not to charge a subscription fee, or kind of, I don't know, like a monthly fee per user or per team?
Yeah, so we did actually look into kind of like the research behind a premium model, a freemium model, and what we found is it puts users off. Kind of during our research, if certain people are going to pay for it, not all of the team are going to pay for it. That will stop that team using the app essentially. So kind of like Facebook, like Twitter, maybe not Twitter Blue now, but it's free. And if it wasn't free, you'd see a drop-off rate of users. If we can get the users, we can get private advertisements in front of them. We can get more players using the payment system, and we can take a service fee from there. And there's plenty of different free ways of being able to generate a revenue without having to charge directly for the app.
And could you charge, do you think the charging could be done for the team? So, you know, like the manager says, we'll pay £10 a month for this because it makes my life easier, or for the league itself. So could the league be managed through that system, or is it just for kind of the players?
No, it is on the bigger scale. So we're actually looking to approach leagues ahead of our marketing campaign for the new year, instead of just these individual teams, when you can have a whole league run through Squad. But as you say, could you pay £10 per month as a team or as a league? We could incorporate that, and it would be an additional a revenue stream. But for this presentation, we just wanted to focus on...
No, it's cool. I just was curious, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Thanks.
Great. Ray, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, my first one was exactly that. I do think it's worth looking into the revenue model. So as Hannah sort of says, investors are always interested in recurring revenue streams, and it seems that you have the potential here to get a recurring revenue stream from the club, particularly because they get the subs and pay for stuff, whether it be balls, equipment, kind of whatever it is, and this is just one of the costs that would be kind of associated with it. So, and I think that would help turn it into a kind of really valuable proposition. So I definitely think Hannah's absolutely bang on. This is kind of something that you ought to look at, because I think it will kind of create lots of value. I guess in terms of other things to think about, I guess marketing this, how are you going to go and access the multiple kind of sports clubs that there are out there, either in a kind of region or a locality or a league or anything like that? I mean, marketing costs lots of cash, so it's how are you going to access that but do it in an efficient manner?
So in the first year, we're planning on kind of using a blend of in-person as well as digital marketing to help us with our initial brand proposition. We don't really want to be going like targeting individual teams, going club to club. We want to offer demonstrations to these full league committees around the UK. We actually got in one last year, and we expect to get into a lot more ahead of next year. And kind of with new marketing experts that we hopefully have the funds to pay for, we then hope to have the tools to really expand our reach and our online presence. And then we also hope to partner with organisations such as like Goal Soccer Centre and like leisure leagues, things like that, where you've got hundreds of thousands of amateur footballers playing 5-7 aside, which they also play for bigger clubs. So that's for the starting years. That's a really big in for us.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, I think from an investor point of view, by the way, it was a really good presentation, very succinct, very well explained, because a lot of time we investors, we kind of sit and get to the end of a presentation, you're still scratching your head about exactly kind of what it is, and so really well done. But yeah, I think from an investor's point of view, I think what you need to do is you need to articulate how you're going to get those clients quickly. So goals is a perfect example. I used to play football, but my sons play football, and there are literally hundreds of teams, and as soon as you get you get access to a really quick market there for not a great deal of cost, but get you off and running quickly. So I think you just kind of need to make sure you articulate that, and do give some thought to the revenue profile as well, and kind of how you make that sticky, because that's ultimately kind of what investors really particularly like.
Thanks, definitely. That's great. And Ed, anything from you, please?
Yeah, Matt, thank you very much. Great presentation. Yeah, what's your sort of background? What were you doing before?
So I'm a financial advisor. Kind of quit that to go travel the world, and that didn't go to plan due to COVID. And now I'm currently managing director of kind of like power planning and outsourced solutions for these financial advisors.
And what's the plan with that? Are you going to pack that in and move into this full time, or
if possible? Yeah.
What about your other team members? Are they friends, or have you sort of met them recently?
No, I've known them pretty much my whole life. They're friends, close teammates, and we all kind of came together to help build this idea.
And everyone plans to move into this full time.
That's the plans, yeah.
As part of this round, or?
I mean, we're open to kind of discussions, kind of what's going to be needed for each team member. Do we all need to kind of do this full time, or can we do part-time splits? But yeah, we're definitely open to a discussion and working around what's needed.
Great. No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ed. Right. I'm going to ask Stephen from G Group to go next, please.
I'm Stephen McKerrow, and I am the founder of MouseSkins and the proud sponsor of Alpine Esports, CS Money, and Yalla Esports, the leading team in Dubai. I innovated and created something that kind of took off. Now imagine in the current world where every mouse, especially these days, is black, RGB, flashy, and plastic. The problem with this is it's built for the masses, it's not built for the individual. Technology has become a throwaway culture. It's not fit for prolonged use. We get RSI increasing consistently, and the lack of customization. It's just a bit boring, and damage happens. The solution is customizing it and creating a long-term culture where technology lasts. The technology we put inside these mice will last for 25 years if the exterior does, if it's easy to clean, and you've got to sell it. So we added performance, design, airflow, sweat wicking, and really focused on the professional esports market. And now I introduce you to MouseSkins, where we've worked with leading artists across the globe and brands. We create bespoke products from mice to headsets to jerseys and all sorts, and limited edition consumer products that we're looking to bring to market next year. As I say, we do other things. So we've worked with leading events, teams, jerseys, brands, and artists to create innovative and different styles of products. I know I'm showing jerseys, but we do some really cool headsets. Here's a sneak peek at some Alpine ones that are in the works. We also help them create and show this off digitally through a cool platform with augmented reality. The market in esports and gaming is notably massive. There's some great numbers on the screen. After it goes past a couple 100 million, it kind of is how you approach that market. And so with MouseSkins and within the gaming industry, it's about growing, collaborating, and providing something for a community that was built around community sports. And so we focus on the performance and empowering the players to get that Formula One level of approach. And by working with brands and teams, we get access to incredible licenses, products, access, and it's grown incredibly over the last 2 years. The competition in the market, the big boys of colorware in the USA, they've been around for 15, 20 years. Any custom console controller you've seen up until the last 5 years was made by them. You get artisans that are like Nacho's Customs who paint them on social media, who are great artists, but solo. And then you get the big boys like Razer and SteelSeries who do mass production in the hundreds of thousands. It's wasteful, even by their words, and they have to get it imported from China. Imagine if you could do that on demand with added performance and collaborate faster and more efficiently with everyone in the world. So my team, myself, I'm business development and sales in my historic background. I've worked with a range of brands from conveyancing to law to sales as a solution and a lot in recruitment. I love art and creativity. Our COO is esports through and through. He's started 3 companies or worked within 3 of them. 2 recently sold. One was over 300,000 and absorbed into an absolute conglomerate that started all at Loughborough University. We've also got video production and R&D team that's coming on board. Darren and Lance notably have some incredible mentions, but we also work with universities. We're a year-long partner with Barclays Eagles after winning an incredible award. We started with the Prince's Trust and we work with Sir Thomas White and try to give back as much to the community and help others, because together we can learn a lot more. The traction we've achieved so far I launched my website in November last year, and we work with KFC. We've got a license for South Park as of next year for the whole year on peripheral market inside the UK and everywhere except the US. We're a second-year sponsor and partner with Alpine Esports, developing them some great commercial technology and some products for the market this year. We've been featured on the BBC Esports Insider. We won the clutch of Innovative Esports Business of the Year, and we've been featured on Business Live. The financials this year, our license portfolio is signed and partnered at £2 million plus. The revenue we generated in year 1 before launching the website was 20k, and this year is probably over 100k with what's coming in just before Christmas. Our valuation and with expected growth is £7.8 million as we currently stand, and if we do nothing, the natural growth will be about 21%. The investment we're looking for to bring our new designs to market, our commercial product that makes our professional level mouse at £450 down to a mere £30 extra onto the commercial price. And that's what we need. So we're going to spend it on R&D, marketing, sales, and taking that to market with, we're going to have a needed team. So we're expanding with partner reach, leading esports teams to secure sponsorships, not by paying for it. Expanding manufacturing, implementing new 3D print automation, 3D vinyl automation, which are IP protected. And we already are looking at licenses with Razer, SteelSeries, and other leading brands like Asus, MSI, and Logitech are looking to come in the mix. The plan is to leave in 5 to 10 years, sell it out to one of the big giants. ESL sold for £1.4 billion recently. Microsoft is aggressively acquiring the gaming industry, and they want to own customs within the next couple of years. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, and if I have any time left.
No, afraid not. A minute over. So let's go to the judges. Thank you. Well done, though. Right, Ray, would you any clarification questions for Stephen?
So I'm trying to work out in terms of the product side of this. In terms of good presentation, kind of lots of lovely graphics. I'm trying to work out the business of the mouse. You kind of talked about a mouse being £450 and you're trying to get it down to £30. Can you just kind of expand on that? I didn't quite understand what you were telling me there. So
no, I do apologize. So we have a in-house process that can customize a mouse, and that is probably 50%.
That's not just a skin. This is actual 3D printing or something, is it?
No, it's a wrap in a skin. So it's using Formula One latest technology, and then we're using, so it's like 60 quid a meter, and then it's a hand process that can only be done for this method. We've got an automated method that does it about 50% to speed things up for large orders. But what we're actually looking to do is bring in a process that is 90% automated for that, and also a process that doesn't include the grip and airflow and all the professional level products. It's just focuses on this design side.
And how much would that typically sell for, that unit?
Unmodified, they're £150, and then modified right now they're selling at 450. Headsets the same price. They normally go for about 100, and we sell them at 450 with the customization. And then we go all the way to like crazy bespoke products like this, where you have detachable sections. And the collection we did for Alpine was valued at 1,500 a mouse.
Wow. Okay. People buying mice for 1,500 quid. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a market I didn't know existed.
The keyboard market in the last 3 years went from what we perceive as reasonable to people spending up to £5,000, £15,000 in the elite market for a keyboard. And the trend is going to follow.
Okay. And then one question just in relation to kind of future proofing this, because I guess kind of, mice is one product, with all kind of touchscreen technology, I don't know how long mice is going to be the kind of primary, human interaction device. It will all be kind of voice led or something like that. How do you kind of future proof this to make sure that all the next generation of human interaction devices, or whatever we call them, kind of you can access?
Definitely. Well, we can customize VR headsets and stuff. That's just anything hard bodied can be customized. Where it gets exciting is where you're looking at Neuralink, but that won't be mainstream for 50, 75 years, or touch interfaces on a PC because of ergonomics. The part as well is we focus on gaming and esports, and a mouse will never be replaced by accuracy of hand orientation, or we're not seeing anything in the market or even under testing at the moment that will replace the accuracy of performance in sports.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Stephen. Hannah, do you have any questions for Stephen?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the presentation, Stephen. Could you talk me through how you go about acquiring new customers, so your strategy for that at the moment?
Yeah. Originally my strategy was to launch the website as a premium cost, because it was me fitting them in my room. Like, it was just me and a one-man band. So I was like, I don't want to fit hundreds of mice. I know this is going to sell. I'd already worked with like a couple of teams, and we'd sold like, I concept a mouse, I sent them out, and they come to us. So it's predominantly business development is how I acquired business year one. We launched the November website, and then we sold a couple of mice to the consumers at like 550 quid. They just come to the website because they see the pro using it. But predominant business this year is all B2B, word of mouth, or referrals. I've not tried to sell it because I wanted to get the IP protected. So we fit everything in house, and it's all personally or done by a team down in Kettering now.
Cool, thank you. No, that's great.
Great, thanks. And Ed, anything from you, please?
Sorry, I was on mute there. So just to confirm, you don't currently sell anything D2C, it's all B2B, is it? Just
predominantly, I mean, we've probably sold about 15 mice B2C. And like I say, I've priced them out of the market to not sell to the consumers. Anything outside of that is sold to professional teams or people looking for that performance edge, marketing material. KFC ordered 115 of them just to mess around for the World Cup. So it's brands looking to activate or interact with the community or create like super premium gifts at the moment.
Right, okay.
There's a big demand for, so Steel Series want us, they've already requested 300 a week minimum. and we've got a nice price to come down to, which makes it affordable, but they want to push it into the thousands of on-demands, and they're happy for us to do all the manufacturing and licensing there, and long-term work out a partnership to take it in-house, so we don't have to worry about their own production, but all under license.
It's just the skins, you know, actually the actual mice.
No
manufacture
development on the mice, just all about the coating and material around it.
Interesting.
I mean, vinyl is just for reference, like vinyl in general is a huge market, and we all know about car wrapping, but it's the composition of the layers that you use, and also where the industry has really struggled with is the application onto complex curves and small objects, because it's designed to sit on large form objects. It's designed to sit there and hug nicely to the body, right? Okay. So when they've typically done it, you'll always get peeling or degrading. And I mean, it's 3 years old.
Thanks, Stephen. At the risk of running over, so I'm just going to ask Sonny to get started as quickly as possible.
Hi, my name is Sony Jonoman. I'm the founder of Baakki. The problem I'm trying to solve with Baakki is quiet hours in businesses. This year, I started a cafe in India. Now I'm going to show a video of my cafe on a rainy day. The biggest challenge I am facing at the moment is lack of customers during off-peak hours or due to factors such as rain or roadblocks. Due to this, my resources are getting wasted. Some days I'm unable to recover my cost. I'm also finding it difficult to attract new customers. We developed a two-sided marketplace where businesses can give off-peak and real-time deals at their quiet hours to attract new customers and improve profit, where users can save money and try new things locally. When I had this business idea in my mind, I went out and spoke to different businesses in Leicester. They are not happy with the current tech solution because no solutions are currently focusing specifically on quiet hours, and it is affecting their peak hour profits. Around 43% of UK residents are currently looking for deals due to the rising cost of living. In our app, at any given time, there are plenty of deals available. Users can reserve the deals, arrive at the specified location at the specified time, and redeem it. Users can also enable notification. This is a global problem affecting many industries. That shows our potential to expand. However, currently we are focusing on hospitality, leisure, events, and spa industry in the UK. Our service optional market is £600 million. We take 15% commission on each transaction. That gives us a forecasted revenue of £54 million by year 2030. As you can see on this graph, we are trying to focus only on unexpected demand decline and utility and manpower waste. There is no competitor in the market trying to solve this problem. To give you an example, just imagine an event management company has 1,000 seats unsold 30 minutes before the start time of that event. No competitor can help them solve that problem. Also, business can use Baakki to attract non-conventional audience. To give you an example, we have signed up with a fine dining South Indian restaurant in Leicester last. Their main target audiences are British people. However, they want to use our platform to give off-peak hour deals to attract 20,000 plus South Indians living in Leicester. For a user, our deals will be the cheapest because we are giving deals only at quiet hours. We launched our MVP in Leicester last week. We have 15 customers, we are nearing 200 users, and we started generating revenue. Going forward, our focus is to give great value to our customers and our users. Our forecasted revenue for 2023 is 30,000 and 300,000 for 2024. I walk around like 15,000 steps most day pitching the idea. I'm not a sales expert, Still, I was able to convert 15% of the business that I'm pitching to. We did a campaign in Montfort University last week. We introduced a deal to a student. He went and redeemed it. After getting the value, he shared it with his friends and had a snowballing effect. On that day, 20% of off-peak, our revenue of that business was contributed by Baakki. I'm an electronics and communication engineer. I have completed my master's in business administration. I worked in Middle East and UK in multinational companies. Jofin and Ajay are our advisors. Jofin exited his previous startup and sold to a US company. Ajay is a lead software engineer in a multinational company. Jinsi Joy is looking after social media content. We are looking forward to raise £150,000 for 10% equity in our company. We will be spending that on marketing, developing new features, and creating a strong team and other expenses. Our market strategy, our exit strategy is to sell our business to companies that's already dealing with food waste or deals and vouchers. Imagine in few years' time, when you're free at home and you want to go out, the first thing you want to open is a Baakki app. That's where I would love to see my company to be. Looking forward to your question. Thank you.
Well done, Sonny. Thank you. Your turn to relax. Who should we go to? Let's start with Ed. I'll get my order mixed up. Any questions for Sonny, please?
Thank you, Sonny. Yeah, great pitch. So how did you find your customers initially already?
They're liking it actually. So basically, if the deals are good, like if there are more than 40% discounts, people are using it, they are sharing it with their friends, then they are sharing it. It has a snowballing effect. But when the deals are like 20% or 10%, they are not finding it very attractive. So we are trying to get good value to our customers.
How many venues do you have on board at the moment?
We have around 15 menus.
15. And how many sign-ups, users?
200.
200. So what's the plan?
It's only been 1 week.
Yeah,
our plan
of course.
Our plan is to get feedback and understand our customer and users' requirements and do our full launch by March 2023. And we are planning to hire business development managers who can take care of the sales development side. I'll be focusing more on the marketing and product marketing and other operation side.
The 150K you're raising, at the end of that, where do you think you'll be at the end of that in terms of venues and users respectively?
We are expecting 200 venues and 20,000 customers.
Just in Leicester?
We are planning to expand to 2 more cities in Midlands.
Thanks, Ed. Hannah, any questions for Sonny, please?
Yeah, kind of following on actually from the last set of questions. The approach you're taking to expanding, is that on a geographical basis, or will you have kind of sector verticals within each geography? I remember you mentioned kind of different sectors within that, spas versus like hospitality. Are you going off kind of multiple sectors within a geography or focusing on particular sectors?
No, multiple focus on a geography, then moving to different cities.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I think one of the main challenges with this sort of technology, and I faced it myself when building a platform, was around when anything that's based on community or marketplace, building that critical mass can be quite a challenge, bringing kind of both sides to the platform.
Yeah.
And Ed, anything from you, please?
I think Ed's already gone. I think it's me left.
Oh, sorry, Ray.
Fine, brilliant. Okay, thank you for the presentation. I mean, in terms of from an investor's point of view, in order to be successful, you're going to need users, and you need to drive users to your app, and that, you know, once you've got a critical mass of users, that will then drive adoption. So for me, the question here is, how are you going to drive users to download their app? Download your app now. You know, you've got competition from places like kind of Groupon and Voucher. So they're doing similar things. Admittedly, they're maybe doing it slightly differently, but they could, you know, kind of do this. So I guess for me, what it's really important is you kind of articulate how you're going to drive those users to your platform. 150,000 isn't a lot of cash, and one thing that investors know, you can easily spend marketing pounds really quite quickly and easily. So it's demonstrating to investors what your kind of return on investment is, you know, where you're going to advertise and how you're going to pick up those consumers. And I think if you can articulate that, that's something that investors will then pick up on.
Our main focus currently is social media. I'm planning to do influencer marketing, but I believe like if we can deliver great value for deals, then it have a great, like there will be a lot of word of mouth. That's what I've seen recently with one of our deals. So it's all about getting the right venues, right suppliers on our platform, and giving best deals so that people can kind of spread this news.
Yeah, and you know, if you kind of get some places who got good deals, which then drives users, but similarly, you know, kind of it is kind of word of mouth, but it's also kind of circular. You kind of need to have a definite strategy to make your money go quite a long way, because say our experience is, you look at kind of businesses like kind of Groupon, they will spend a lot on marketing, and it's making sure that you're kind of getting the best value for that.
Great. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Sonny. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
And it's now Kerry's turn to get a bit. I'm not going to say anxious. You've been practicing quite a bit, so looking forward to hearing this one.
Rubitek solves the problem of poor apprenticeship completion rates. My name is Kerry Linley, and I'm going to explain why the current apprenticeship ecosystem is broken, what's needed to solve the problems, how Rubitek's the answer, and what we've achieved so far. Delivering apprenticeship training is just the tip of the iceberg. Employers and training providers drown in legislation and compliance issues. This burden means that stakeholders don't spend enough time supporting learners, and that drives down success rates. 47% of apprentices don't complete, and this costs the English economy £18 billion per annum. It's happening because legacy tech isn't fit for purpose. The burden that's created drains training provider and employer resources, and that leads to quality and compliance issues. Learner retention rates and completion rates go down, and there's a significant loss of income, and the skills gap widens as a result. There's an opportunity to address similar problems across the globe, and you might be surprised to see some of these results. Rubitek solves the problems by connecting learners to the right support, and that drives up success rates. Our customers benefit from better learner engagement. Our ESFA funding report saves customers 10 days every month and ensures financial certainty and contract compliance. We deliver improvements in quality that leads to fewer funding audits and better Ofsted results. I think in summary, we give back time to employers and providers so that they can better support their learners. Our pricing model presents no barrier to engagement for the entire learner support network, and our target market is really clearly defined. There are 2,000 apprenticeship providers in England delivering 720,000 apprenticeships at any given time, with an annual licence value of £255 million. Globally, this is a multi-billion pound opportunity. We generate income from licence fees and archiving for up to 9 years. And lastly, because we increase success rates, we also increase progressions, meaning an additional 9 years from revenue. The current ecosystem is broken, and Rubitek is the glue that fixes this. We're addressing an urgent need at a time when investment in apprenticeships is a top priority. And if you want evidence of that, go and check out the BBC article published just last week that talks about the sorry state of English apprenticeships. In terms of competition, we don't claim to be the only solution, but we are the only all-in-one solution with apprenticeship sector expertise baked into what we do. We're not a bums on seats platform. It's about quality over quantity, and our customers buy from us because we embed ourselves strategically into their business, and this adds value. We're working with some really well-known names and generating recurring monthly revenues from software licenses, as well as consulting, hosting, white labeling, and bespoke development. This year we'll achieve a 6-figure turnover, and we have a healthy pipeline and sales and marketing strategy moving into 2023. We've built an efficient, talented team. I ran one of the UK's most successful and award-winning shared apprenticeship schemes. Our business manager, Mark, has grown and scaled an IT services business to a multi-million-pound exit, so it's no accident he's on board. Our angel investors play an active role in helping us grow, and our customers share our ethos. In fact, we've walked away from customers and investors who don't. A bit about our journey. So in 2018, we built an MVP and mobile apps. We secured our first customers in 2019. In 2020, we strengthened our team and expertise. We identified limitations with our development team and prepared ourselves for investment. In 2021, we secured SEIS and EIS investment. We rebuilt the software and infrastructure on Amazon's cloud technology. And this year we've completed migrations and signed more contracts. We've also just closed our latest investment round and been awarded £50,000 from UFI Voctech to build something, a predictive analytics tool, which they've called groundbreaking. We've appointed the team who will take us to exit in February 2027, and we'll be seeking additional investment of £1 million in 2025 to achieve expansion plans. Rubitek is an ethical business with the right team in place to deliver. If you like what we're doing, let's have a chat. My contact details are on screen, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Well done, Kerry. Thank you. Right on time as well. Excellent. So we'll go to Hannah first, please, for any questions.
Thanks, Kerry. It was a great presentation and a really interesting problem that you guys are helping the market solve. Could you maybe provide a bit more information about what the product actually does? So what your solution offers?
Yes. So the software platform itself, typically what happens with apprenticeships is the learner gets put into a software platform and they need to carry out activities and complete assignments, but there's no engagement with the employer. So typically what happens is the learner has a relationship with a training provider. The employer tends not to get involved in that process. So before you know it, if there's an issue brewing, it's too late by the time everybody finds out about it. So the platform collaborates everybody in the same space, and it highlights potential moments of disengagement so that anybody in that learner support network can step in before it becomes a real problem. So we are improving opportunities for intervention to drive up success rates. It also produces something called the ILR, which is an XML file that training providers need to submit monthly to government that generates their funding claims. And that's the bit when I talked about, we save training providers around 10 man days every month just in production of that file.
So really it's kind of the collaboration between all the different individuals involved in the process, being able to track and communicate.
Yes, and because we don't charge per user, we only charge per learner, there's no barrier to getting that network in place, which is a problem with other software solutions.
Understood, thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Ray, any questions for Kerry, please?
Well done. Good presentation. Very clear. So I've got a stepson who's on an apprenticeship at the minute, and I share your pain on this one. So it is a big problem. It's a growing problem, and obviously there will be more and more apprenticeships. So I think we can see the size of the market. Like Hannah, is understanding kind of what the value add bit is. I can see the report generation at the back end. But it's kind of the revenue model is something I'd like to understand a little bit more about. So you've got to six figures, I think you said, in terms of turnover, which is fantastic. Understanding that, is that the employer playing that? Is it training provider kind of, how does that work, and is it contractual stroke sticky?
It's very sticky. So an apprenticeship typically lasts 2 years. The way the reporting works means that they need to be on that file that I mentioned, the ILR file, for 3 years because of the academic year structure. And then records need to be retained for a further 6 years, and available for audit at any given time. So by having those users in the platform, the learner records in the platform, that's where the 9 years worth of revenue comes from. We sell to training providers, but training providers can also be employers. So you have something called employer providers. We do have both on the platform. So we have employer providers and independent training providers and other types of apprenticeship providers.
And I guess that there presumably is a limited number of training providers in the country, so you can access your target market easily.
It's really clearly defined, and actually we found the other day a list that actually breaks down all of the training providers and which platforms they are currently using. So we know exactly who we need to target into 2023. And
if they're using existing platforms, how do you kind of unlock them from those? Because that will, by definition, you've got a sticky product, but you're persuading people to come off an equally sticky product. What's the sales pitch?
So one of the biggest platforms that's used by the vast majority of apprenticeship providers is the free learner entry tool that the government has published. And it is broken, it's legacy, it's not fit for purpose. I've yet to audit a single training provider's ILR file. This is the financial file that doesn't have errors in it as a result of using that tool. The other systems, in order to work, training providers are having to pull together disparate systems in order to run their businesses. So because we're an all-in-one solution, we solve that disparate problem.
It's really interesting proposition, to be honest. So
thanks, Ray.
Very exciting.
Thanks, Ray. That just leaves Ed for any questions, please.
No, I've got nothing to add. That's great, Kerry. Well done.
Thanks, Ed.
Right. Okay. So the next startup, unfortunately, he had to record his session this morning due to an unforeseen family matter. So I'm going to share screen, and so there isn't, unfortunately, an opportunity for the judges to feedback. Maybe we can do that offline later.
Hello, my name is Baraj Serin, and I'm a qualified fitness instructor, personal trainer, and I invent fitness equipment. And what started as a hobby slowly became a passionate obsession. I'd often get clients complain about wrist problems, and to improve wrist grip and forearm strength in general, I would always use the roller. A problem with this is the loose cord, which can be a hazard if left laying around. So I developed one with a retraction device in the center and one with a detachable cord and a storage compartment within. The most popular rollers sell for around 30 to 40 pounds, but none of them have these improvements. But I wanted to go a step further and increase the intensity by incorporating vibration, which is proven to enhance blood flow and increase strength. I'd like to offer extras such as the thickness of the bar, the color of the bar or a custom print, and the color of the cord. Quite often, people neglect using springs. Either they forget, or they can't be bothered, or they just can't find them. But as a result, sometimes something like this could happen. Believe it or not, I've actually seen worse. So I wanted to try fix the problem and develop a barbell that doesn't need springs. Here's the Juggle Box, a machine that targets hand-eye coordination, hand speed, reaction time, mental agility, and could also help improve cognitive function. I was very fortunate to showcase this prototype to the Leicestershire County Cricket Club. It was tested by the Director of Cricket, Claude Henderson, and former England international, James Taylor. The Juggle Box solves a common problem with machines used to work on these skills: response errors. These machines are designed to recognize a response by taking impact, which eventually causes problems. The fitness industry in the UK currently has a market value of 2.8 billion and is expected to increase by 3.4% in 2023. There are more than 7,200 health and fitness clubs in the UK with a total of around 10 million members, and this is expected to increase by 14% in 2023. I'm looking for 100,000 to help protect IP, complete final designs with design workshops, and to finalise an agreement with a target manufacturer. I'd also like to hire a business development specialist and a data analyst working alongside engineers to proceed with my plans for gamification. This list is growing with interest from sports clubs, physiotherapists, and charities. For the moment, my target trials are with the head of performance at GB Boxing and the CEO of Memphis to explore the potential cognitive benefits the Juggle Box can have. Gamification for the Juggle Box is crucial for its development, and also trialling at privately owned gyms and boxing and racket sports clubs across the country. We're very fortunate to have a range of professional athletes with a large social media following excited to trial and share. My target is the consumer and to sell 1,500 units of the roller by the end of 2023. My target for 2024 is to sell 5,000 units of the roller and develop its 2.0 version, which takes things even further than just vibration. The target is to also sell 500 units of the Juggle Box. 2025 is when things get really interesting, with a target of 7,500 units for the Roller 2.0 and 1,000 units of the Juggle Box, but to also complete its 2.0 version, the Mystery Machine. I am currently supported by Innovate UK to help with commercialization, and I'm actively looking for a co-founder. There are many companies selling fitness equipment out there, and some are impressive. However, other than invent a new to market product, I deliberately choose products where I see opportunities for significant improvement, such as the button bar. PeakPulse isn't a one product company. With the roller, I have to start somewhere. PeakPulse is a company that is trying to revolutionize the fitness industry. I am passionate about building equipment to make a difference to not only gyms and the members, but also the healthcare sector for rehabilitation and helping people with illnesses and disabilities. God willing, I believe my work can do that. I'd like to truly thank you all for your time and for giving me this opportunity, and I'd love to answer any questions you may have and have the chance to discuss things further. I wish you all the best and nothing but success. God bless.
Right, so that was Barrage. I don't think he's able to be on the call now, so he can't take questions, but maybe there's an opportunity to get some feedback from Ray, Ed and Hannah at a later date. So that just leaves our final pitcher today, Hisham.
Hi everyone, my name is Hisham. I'm a GP by trade. I'm one of the co-founders for Ashmount Services Limited, and I'd like to start off by asking you all just to imagine how you would probably be if you were a patient who was on this trolley, or if you were a relative with someone who was on one of these trolleys. And the one key question that would come to your mind when you were sitting over here, and mind you, this is from 2018, not currently, is why is this trolley not moving? Well, the word is panic. I work for the NHS, and the NHS is broken. We have got staff who are demoralized, we've got training backlog, we've got appointment backlog, we've got patients on trolleys, and lo and behold, we've got a strike by nurses and ambulance that we have to look forward to. Now, global perspective, every year there is global health inflation, which is running at 8.8% every year. There is increased litigation, there is decreased productivity, there are demoralized staff, there is low patient satisfaction. Hundreds of millions of pounds are being spent every year in litigation because 1 out of 5 procedures results in injuries. And the reason for that is because trainees normally only get about 10 to 15 minutes to practice on invasive procedures. And these procedures in real life take about 45 minutes. Once again, if you ask yourself, why is this trolley not moving? Well, the answer to that is because the patients need procedures, and it's because procedures take time, and because there are not enough staff who can do these procedures safely. Well, the question might come, why did we stop doing the procedures? Well, the reason for that is because procedures under ultrasound guidance get money for the trust, and that helps to pay for the services and keep everything running. The sort of procedures that we're currently trying to work on. We're trying to drain fluid from the lung, fluid from the tummy, and probably do something called as a central line. Now, the NHS is working on these sort of things as well. We train doctors. The doctors attend a 2-day course, which costs somewhere about £500 for these 2 days. There are 35,000 trainees in the NHS at any given time, and retraining is required every 3 years. This gives us an opportunity in this market for about 17.5 million. And overall, the worldwide growth in this market is going up from 1.7 billion in the mannequin training market to about 3.2 billion. From a survey that we have done for trainees within the East Midlands, where 1 out of 4 trainees thought that even after that they'd been to one of these £500 courses, they were not skilled enough to be able to perform a procedure even under supervision, which means a senior consultant standing next to them. Now, this is what we're hoping will become the new normal. We will have the same high value, high quality accredited courses. They will be delivered at home. They were delivered in and out of with high fidelity mannequins, and the trainees will be able to spend more time with the mannequin being trained up, and they will have a higher confidence compared to the current model. This is a bit of a mock-up about what is currently being done. Imagine you're one of these people and you're having to have who is working over here. Do you want me to just tell her to hold fire for a second? Well, so this is the interface that we are developing. And the 2 screens on the left side corner, which is the one with the monitor over it and the screens. These are 2 screens which will probably be available, where the procedure will be done and the ultrasound scan will probably be shown as well. Standing at present. So we've currently managed to get a grant from Innovate UK, and we're within the 2nd phase of our managed skin development. And this is an 18-month cycle that we're having to go through. Be able to exploit once the platform is up and running, and the platform will not just be catering to these 3 procedures, but there will be more procedures which are going to be added on as we move forwards. So currently, with us having managed to secure the Innovate UK grant, 70% from them and 30% which is being funded by the government, we will probably be looking at arranging another £150,000, which will probably help us to get to our development sooner rather than later. Now, this is going to be a product that we cannot do without, because the current way of training cannot stand. This is a market which is going to be growing by about 100% over the next 4 years. As doctors, we are on a mission to decrease preventable harm to our patients, and we want to disrupt the traditional classroom models that we're all having to go through at present. So the next time when you are on one of these trolleys, or you're with one of your relatives or friends or loved ones, the question which will go through your mind is, thank God this trolley is moving. Within my team, I've got 2 doctors, myself and Dr. Mohsin Zaman, who are the co-founders. We've got 5 PhD doctors over here, and we've got 1 telecommunications expert. Thank you.
Well done, Hisham. The challenges have been a practicing GP and delivering a pitch at the same time. Right.
Not just that, winter pressures have been absolutely horrendous, and with the strep infections over there as well. I've just seen about 40 people, done about a load of prescriptions while going through all that. So it's not easy.
No, understood, and well done you. Well, Ray, would you mind going first, please, with any questions?
No problem. Well done, and for doing this whilst doing a day job as well. So, fantastic, amazing. So yeah, okay. It took me a little while to kind of work out what the proposal was, but it's in terms of the mannequin and the ultrasound training. So I guess that the key question has got 2 key questions. One is this kind of a rental or a sale model? Could you kind of so kind of goes to the revenue model, and does that make it easier for particularly the NHS to buy? On the second question is, whenever you kind of hear the NHS in a kind of buying decision discussion, you generally think long lead times takes a long while. So have you got answers to kind of both of those questions in terms of the revenue model, lease versus sale, and how to shorten the time to get the NHS to adopt?
I do, yes. So number one, the NHS has got a framework where as long as you're giving the same price as is being delivered by any other customer out there, they will go for it. And we are already delivering these trainings, but we're delivering it in the traditional classroom models at present. We have also partnered with WinFocus, which is an international training body as well, which globally within about 120 countries goes around and does these sort of training. But once again, they tend to do the traditional style over there as well. We have held their UK arm of their organization. Rather than go for a rental arm over there as well, we would like to onboard trainers, and when we've got onboard as well, Now, the model is going to be more effective in the way that once you deliver the mannequin in your home, you can actually practice it. You don't have to travel around. It was actually borne out by the fact that when we were during lockdown, we delivered one of these trainings. And the way that we delivered the training was that we had 5 consultants, we have about 20 trainees, and we had all of them spaced out in a room. And there was always this fear about what if one of them got infected and what would that tend to do in terms of the NHS as a knockout. So the model that we're going for is that we develop the platform, we develop the trainers for the platform, and then we deliver the training as well as the mannequin side of things as well.
Okay, and in terms of the revenue model that attaches to that, so how does that work?
So the revenue model is currently what's being on offer. So it's £500 a trainee who tends to go down for one of these courses. You get the same £500, but you have better outcomes which are coming out of it. So 35,000 trainees who need to be trained, and that's just in the UK alone. And we have got links with America. We've got colleagues who work in America, in the Middle East, across the world through InFocus. And if we have the same sort of model of training which is being developed, we can actually unleash our expertise globally.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ray. Ed, next, please.
So ultimately, you want to develop technology that enables you to deliver a bunch of training remotely. Was that the sort of vision of the company?
Yeah. So the thing is that we want to monopolize or at least get a fair share of the corner within this market. This market is already out there. It's been delivered in a very traditional manner. And if we can actually have the trainers and the model working collaboratively, that's how we can actually maximize the income from this particular model. Now, the hospitals will be interested because when they tend to do the procedures, they get higher amounts of payment. Same is the case for any hospital out there in the world. When they do an invasive procedure, they get higher amount of money. When they do the procedure under ultrasound, that is 2 procedures for which they will be claiming money from their insurances. So that typically attracts a very high tariff for them as well, which is why they want to get trained. And then from an insurance perspective, once they're trained up, they actually have lesser injuries. And that from a litigation point of view, that's very, very good as well.
But it will all be deployed remotely, will it, ultimately?
So it can work in a variety of fashions. You can actually work remotely, but we would probably want to do a hybrid sort of a model as well, where you can actually have some one-to-one interference sort of thing as well. And then the next day you probably go around or have 2 or 3 days. And then the longer you're spending over there as well, the longer you're interacting, the more you can do it. The more you can actually interact with the trainer as well. You can personalize the mannequins as well. So if someone needs to learn a further technique over there as well, or if we're training the trainers sort of thing as well, that can also be facilitated so that we can actually have sort of like a branch and root fashion of growth.
So, okay, thanks to everyone that pitched. I'm now going to join the judges in a breakout room. And my colleague Manish will take care of the next 12-ish minutes. We're going to hear from a local startup and his journey. I mentioned him earlier. We've also got an audience vote that's gone up now. Hopefully you can see that. So vote away for your winner. And let me see if I can sort this break. I'll hand over to you, Manish, whilst I... okay, he's already doing it.
No problem. Hi, everyone. So as the judges and Sam go into the breakout rooms, we've got a poll running in the background. So feel free to vote. That's just kind of a bit of fun for us all to see where your votes would go for which pitch you thought was the best. In the meantime, we are also joined by Tom. Tom Holt is the founder of Payment Loyalty. I think he's there somewhere. And he's also going to be pitching a business to us, his own startup. He wasn't part of the accelerator, but I just thought it would be a good time to, as the judges are judging, to visit another startup that's doing some interesting things in the space of loyalty payments. So Tom, do you want to take it away? I think you're co-host if you needed to share screen.
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, really nice to see you. Thanks a lot for the time. Today, Sam called me about an hour before this, so yeah, apologies if it's not as polished as some of your presentations, but yeah, I'm also going to stop the video just for bandwidth, but yeah, a bit of background. So I've been working in loyalty for the last 15 years or so, worked with M&S, Waitrose, B&Q, a lot of big companies. I've been part of founding team of a venture-backed company, Acribo, who provide sort of in-store marketing for some of the world's biggest grocery in UK, US. So we've done our time in loyalty, and I guess the high level is loyalty works. Loyal customers are worth, you know, between 60 and 80% more than transient ones, right? But you know, the methods of delivering loyalty were the methods we all know, sort of additional cards, downloading apps, being asked for personal data, emails, phone numbers, etc. at the point of sale. That just doesn't work anymore. I've worked within companies and seen that trending down for many years. And I think I'm sure a lot of you probably agree. It's the frictionless of payments in store these days with the tap of a contactless card or your phone. It's just so elegant that any additional work overhead at the checkout, launching an app, sort of producing some paper card, it's just a hard sell for merchants these days. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what we've developed to solve this problem. So can you see this okay, guys?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay, cool. So I'll tell you that you'll have seen these in retailers, I'm sure, recently. What we have on the right is a smart terminal. And think of these as a smartphone compared with the old Nokias, Ericssons we all used to carry around. The point being, they can do more than just payments. And we have good relationships with these hardware manufacturers and kind of got the jump on the rest of the market in terms of adding some value to them. So we use smart terminals to deliver some form of loyalty engagement with the customer. And this means no cards, no apps, none of that personal data exchange. We just use what's there. So a terminal and the method of payment. And the key to this, the problem we solve in the most succinct way, is friction. If you take away friction, i.e. headache or any work for a customer, you massively increase the performance, the reach of a campaign, right? So let me, apologies for the slightly cheesy music, but this explains the products as well as I ever could.
All done on a terminal. They haven't got to worry about phone apps or bringing their paper and cardboard stamps in. It just works perfect for my customers. Business is challenging at the moment, so it's just nice to give a little reward back to our loyal customers that come in, week out to help them out with their purchases. It's been great. We've had a 70% uptake on the loyalty scheme. People have just signed up to it, no problem at all. Super easy to set up, just synced online, and we're up and running in no time.
Allow me just a couple more seconds to see a different side of this.
The technology itself is incredible, way ahead of the old-fashioned stamp card. It was way ahead of having to download an app. Customers love it because they don't have to do anything to receive a benefit. It's as simple as pressing yes or no, and as soon as that card's used, it just adds a stamp automatically. Okay, so yeah, look, hopefully that's clear. But the real secret sauce of this is, as I say, the removal of friction. So the first time we see a card, we know, show this customer the merchant offer. And all they need to do is press yes or no. Yes is how they add their card and move towards a discount in the future. And that's about as low as I've ever seen any friction, any sort of opt-in to any loyalty program. So, you know, this works an order of magnitude better than any conventional means of recognizing and rewarding loyal customers. We are seeing merchants get 70, 80, 90% of customers saying, yes, I want to participate. And that's huge because normally customers don't sign up to loyalty unless it's like maybe Boots when you have kids and you're buying a ton of nappies all of a sudden, or you know, big grocery chains often have a good amount of success with loyalty. But for the mid and independent market, loyalty is a very hard sell. So this, we have a kick-ass solution, and one really important component is this is merchant managed. So the merchants themselves use a portal to create and manage campaigns that they then deploy to their smart terminals. It doesn't need any technical support. And this is a really important part of the solution because it allows what is becoming a really effective route to market. So this market, this is a bit of a simplification, but the resellers, there's hardware manufacturers, there's your acquiring banks, there's software companies like ourselves. The green guys here, big sales organizations, will tend to bundle an offering. They will pick hardware from company A, they will use certain acquiring banks, they will use software from companies like ourselves. Now, these sales organizations sometimes approach end users, but not often. In general, if you walk through the high street, every merchant on the high street has been sold their payment processing solution by a reseller. And there is a huge army of resellers globally who have personal relationships with the merchants they serve. And our model is to split revenue with these resellers and to give them something more than just payments to sell. And it's working incredibly effectively. So resellers who for years have been selling simply the means to take payments, the margins are incredibly thin and getting thinner all the time. So to give a reseller that something that differentiates their offering, that allows them to deliver real value to a merchant in terms of increasing their customer loyalty is incredibly powerful. And it also increases the contract length. So payments is rather a commoditized offering, right? And every year when a merchant renews their payment processing agreement, they're looking at one thing: how much is it? How much does the terminal cost to rent? How much is the payment processing? So we help resellers move away from that price only conversation. And it's proving incredibly effective. PAX, the white terminal, this is a busy slide, apologies, but just as a quick pointer of where we are. PAX, the white terminal on the top left, they were one of the first companies to deploy smart terminals and gain any significant scale. And they have been our partner for the last 12 months and allowed us to really polish this, this solution. Verifone, who you will know the name, and Castles, we have now signed deals with these and have more on the way with other hardware providers. These are exclusive deals, and we into 2023 we now cover about 3/4 of the market in terms of hardware providers. The sales organizations that we approach are more than happy to add us to their offering, because why wouldn't you? The key thing here is there is no point in a smart terminal unless it's doing something smart. So all the people in this value chain are very keen to have a reason to sell the end merchant a smart terminal. And that's proving really effective for us. In 2023, we are raising money in Q1 to basically drive acquisition of more channel partners, both in the UK and now globally. Our deals with Verifone and a deal we're signing at the moment with Stripe are global. And our revenue model for this is that we charge merchants around £20 per month per terminal they have this deployed to. We kick back 30% of that to the reseller partners. So yeah, that's payment loyalty. Again, apologies, it wasn't quite as polished as the other guys. Just as a little bit of interesting info while we wait for the other guys to come back. If you're looking for Christmas present ideas, go on eBay. You'll be able to buy something like this, which is a coffee stamp stolen from Greg's. Here's someone selling 35 coffees for £25. Loyalty for small, medium-sized merchants is really hard to do well, and there are loads of pitfalls like what we see here, right? So we solve all of this for the mid-tier and independents, and there's about 150 million of them who we will have access to globally. So there you go. That's payment loyalty. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for that, Tom. I remember someone doing something similar with a Nando's stamp and just nicking it from over the counter from back in the day. This is where I'm going to, as we are just waiting for the judges to come through, ask if anyone's got any questions for Tom and his startup. And also just to remind you, there's a poll running currently. So if you haven't had your say about the first 6 accelerator cohort pitches we heard, please do vote for who you'd like to see win. So if there's any questions, put them in the chat.
Please, sorry, I'm back. So yeah, sorry, I should have said. Sorry, apologies. I'm just mindful it's at 2. So
course.
I can see Tom. Thank you,
No,
Tom, for delivering. No doubt that was a really, yeah. Right. So we have a winner, folks. This is a bit we've been waiting for. I think the message from the three judges was that everyone did incredibly well. But we're here today to pick a winner, and that award goes to, drum roll, Matt from Squad. Well done, Matt.
Thank you very much, guys.
We talked about Rubitek a lot, and actually recognise that, Kerry, you've already filled your round, and for SF, the purposes of working, you know, you're beyond their sort of scope at the moment. But Hisham, I think Ed would also like to connect and follow up as well. So maybe that will lead to an approach to their IC at some point. But I also obviously want to thank the others that pitched. And
can I also say, Sam, actually on the poll, just to let you know that we had quite a few votes come through, and the one that won that vote was Rubitek, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Most votes on the audience poll. There you go.
Great. Well, it's just gone 2 o'clock. Managed to go over again. I do want to thank everyone else. Metin, you were also on the accelerator, and obviously the other three didn't get a mention, but you did do very well. So yeah, we will close it there. Thank you everyone for coming. We will run our next accelerator probably same time next year. So hope to see you at least, if not before, in early December 2023. And that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done.